Stop for a moment and listen to my voice. Do not scroll past this sacred video right now. Look at me with your entire heart. My beloved child, I have aligned time itself to bring your spirit to this exact intersection because your soul desperately needs to hear the truth today. Come closer to my presence right now. Let me speak softly to the part of you that is most tired because you have traveled a very long road. You have traveled a very long road in your own empty strength. Give me just a few minutes of your absolute attention. I promise you that you will not regret staying here with me. This message is not a random occurrence in your day. I guided your hand to pause on these words. Hear these words every morning and every night. Your entire life is about to change completely. Heaven has authorized a massive shift for you. I need you to anchor your heart in my voice before the noise of the world returns. Something has just shifted in the unseen realm. Your tears have finally reached my holy throne. You must listen to this instruction carefully and do not rush through this sacred encounter. Be still and let my peace wash over your heavy mind. My beloved child, I know the secret desire you have been carrying in your heart for so long. I know how deeply you want to see a breakthrough in your life. You have kept this wish hidden from everyone around you because you are afraid of being disappointed again after so many years of waiting. You carry it silently when you walk through your busy day. You smile for other people and pretend that everything is perfect. You pretend that you are strong enough to carry the weight alone. But I see the quiet moments when the shield drops from your tired shoulders. I see you when you sit on the edge of your bed in the darkness. You wonder if anyone truly cares about your hidden pain. I was there when you wept quietly into your pillow so no one would hear. I watched you hide your face because the heavy burden was too big for words. You felt completely alone in that empty room. But I want you to know that I was closer to you than the cold floor, because my love covers you completely. Not one tear was wasted. You have been fighting battles in silence for months and years. Your body is weary and your thoughts are completely exhausted. You have done everything right, and you have stayed faithful in the dark. Yet every morning when you wake up, the same heavy cloud is waiting for you. You wonder why the answers seem so delayed. Take a deep breath right now and let your mind relax completely. Do not try to solve the future with your empty strength. Comment Amen if you feel me speaking to you right now. Let this simple act of obedience seal your agreement with my divine promise today. The waiting season that drained your joy is finally closing. I am stepping into your atmosphere to rescue you from a painful cycle that has stolen your inner peace. You have poured your pure love into hands that did not know how to hold it. You have been misunderstood by the very people you tried to help. I see your goodness and I know your heart is clean. The world has written you off with labels. They look at your current situation and judge your future based on past mistakes. But my verdict over your life is completely different from their loud opinions. I did not create you to live in a small cage of fear. You are my chosen child, and an heir to an unshakable kingdom. I have been watching your silent endurance through the dark storms. The attacks came against your mind because the enemy is absolutely terrified of your rising light. You are standing at the very threshold of a massive breakthrough. Listen to me with the deepest place of your wounded spirit. The heavy burden you are carrying was never meant for your human shoulders. You have tried to engineer solutions alone. Your soul was quietly breaking inside. I am commanding you to lay down the heavy bags you have been carrying without my permission. Do you realize the magnitude of what is approaching your doorstep today? A holy instruction is being released over your day to redefine your entire destiny. If you stay with me, I will reveal the hidden reason. I will reveal the hidden reason behind every closed door. I will show you the exact provision I prepared for your life. Do not let your rational mind convince you to scroll away to the next distraction. The adversary wants to drown my gentle voice with the chaotic static of this world. He wants you to believe those clever lies. He wants you to believe that you are destined to repeat old failures. But those are lies from the pit of darkness. I am establishing a new foundation for your life right now. I am cutting away the toxic attachments that have drained your spirit. The process may feel uncomfortable because your spirit is being separated from old patterns. But hear my reassurance today. This holy interruption is your ultimate protection from hidden traps that the enemy placed on your path. You will walk in freedom. You have asked me why your sincere kindness was constantly met with bitter disappointment. You wondered why you had to watch others receive blessings while you stood outside. My child, I did not forget your name during those quiet nights. I was guarding your vessel for a specific harvest that belongs only to you. The desires of your heart are not forgotten fragments of a broken dream. I recorded every single whisper you breathed when you thought heaven was completely silent. I am counting the days. I am counting the days until the fulfillment of my word manifests in your reality. You must listen to this message every morning to align your thoughts. You must listen to this message every night to shield your spirit while you rest. The rhythm of survival has hardened your expectations. I am softening your heart today. You will receive the floodgates of my favor. Breathe deeply once again and feel the weight lifting from your chest. I am with you always. Let the stillness settle into your thoughts right now. The confusion is melting away because my voice brings absolute clarity. You are not arrived late to your own destiny. You are exactly where I need you to be for the next step of my grand plan. Look at me and trust my timing completely. Something beautiful is being formed beneath the surface of your current struggles. You thought you were breaking into pieces, but you were actually being reshaped into a beautiful masterpiece. The enemy targeted your identity because he knows you are a cycle breaker. The chain of lack stops here. It ends with you today. I need your absolute focus as we move deeper into this holy sanctuary of words. The truth I am about to speak will shatter the heavy chains of anxiety that bound your thoughts. Do not rush away from my presence. Open your heart wide and prepare to receive the revelation of my divine provision. I see how hard it has been for you to wake up every day. You are tired of being the strong one who takes care of everyone else. No one asks about your own heart. I notice your exhaustion. I am here to give you a true place of rest. The desire you carry is not a mistake. I am the one who planted that holy seed inside your spirit before you were born into this world. Do not allow the cynical voices of the crowd to make you doubt what I promised in the secret place. Hold on to the vision. The appointed time is closer than you think. Your life is about to shift from a season of heavy labor into a season of effortless grace. I am opening the windows of heaven to pour out a blessing that your storehouses cannot fully contain. This is the promise I make to my child. Prepare your spirit for the shift. Let my words become your daily bread as you walk out of the wild wilderness season. You will no longer stumble in the fog of uncertainty because my light is illuminating your path ahead. Stay right here with me and let the truth wash away every trace of yesterday. The morning of your victory has finally arrived. I know you have questioned my love during the quiet times of your heaviest trials. You looked at the empty spaces in your life and you thought that I had forgotten my promises to you. But hear me clearly today. My silence was never my absence. I was quietly working behind the scenes to orchestrate your ultimate restoration. The very situation that caused you the most pain is being transformed into a platform for my glory. Look at me. You will look back at this exact day, and you will understand the precise perfection of my divine timing. Do not let the heavy static of fear consume your beautiful thoughts as we move forward together. Your change is starting right now. I saw you when you walked away from the crowd because the noise was too loud for your broken spirit. You felt as if no one understood the heavy weight inside your chest. You carried the sorrow alone, and when you finally found a quiet space behind closed doors, you allowed the mask to fall completely from your face. I watched you fold yourself into the smallest possible shape to escape the heavy pressure of your thoughts. You pressed your face into a soft pillow so that your family would not hear the sound of your crying. You felt invisible. You felt completely forgotten by the world. And you quietly questioned your own value during those dark hours. I noticed every single detail of your quiet suffering when the night was deep and cold. You looked out the window, and you wondered if this pain would ever end. You believed that you were the only person fighting this heavy battle. But I was right beside you. I was closer to you than the trembling floor you were sitting on. Let me reveal a deep truth to your weary spirit right now because I want to give you absolute freedom. My child, I have seen the way you replay your past conversations at 3 in the morning. You search for the one thing you said wrong. You constantly worry that you have disappointed the people you care about. You work tirelessly to fill the empty gaps for everyone around you while your own soul is completely starved. You accomplish something good, and you feel absolutely nothing inside your heart. Your tired eyes immediately go to what is still left undone on your long list. You push yourself harder because you feel completely unworthy of rest. You have called this habit being a perfectionist. You told yourself that you simply have high standards for your life, but that is not the true explanation. That is a dangerous lie from the adversary. I am exposing this lie right now because I want to heal the root of your heavy exhaustion. Listen to me now. Here is the hidden mechanism behind your constant striving. Long ago, somewhere in your story, you learned that love had to be earned through endless labor. You learned that you were only safe when you were useful to others. You believed that you were only worthy when you were constantly achieving great things. I call this painful pattern the earning wound. It is not your authentic character. It is simply a deep scar from a past moment you may not even remember clearly anymore. You developed this shield to protect your sensitive heart from rejection, but this heavy shield is now crushing your spirit completely. Let me recontextualize your past years right now so you can see your life through my holy eyes. All those years you thought you were lazy when you tried to rest were not wasted years. You were actually fighting a deep lie that told you rest was a sin. You were trying to heal your soul. You were doing your best. All those times you could not receive a genuine compliment from a friend were not acts of holy humility. You were simply guarding a deep wound because you did not believe you deserved love without working for it. You were hiding, but you do not have to hide from me anymore because my love is free. You are not behind. You are being formed. The long season of your performance ends today. Place your hand gently over your chest right now. Feel the rhythmic beating of your heart. Hear me say this clearly. You were deeply loved before you ever achieved a single thing in this world. Receive my grace now. You do not have to earn what I freely give to you. Pause right here and let this truth settle into your soul. Comment, "You see me" down below if you realize that. My eyes are watching you with complete tenderness. This act of obedience will anchor your heart in my divine presence today. Breathe in, my peace. The enemy wants you to remain isolated because he is terrified of the great destiny I have placed inside you. He whispers that you are completely alone in this wilderness. He wants you to believe that your current isolation is a permanent punishment from heaven, but he is a liar. Do not believe his words. Your isolation is not a punishment. It is a strategic positioning for a massive breakthrough. I pulled you away from the noisy crowd because I needed your undivided attention for this next chapter. You could not hear my gentle voice while you were busy fulfilling the endless demands of other people. I saw the exhaustion that had gone past deep sleep. It settled into your very bones and made even getting out of bed feel like a small act of defiance against the dark cloud. You were never meant to carry this heavy burden alone. I have been waiting for this exact intersection of time. Stay right here. To help you receive what I have already prepared, I need you to understand a holy secret. The silence you have experienced for so many months is not my absence. The enemy has been filling the space between us with a heavy static. This constant noise has made my voice completely invisible to you. You thought I had abandoned your prayers. But in truth, I have been quietly preparing a great rescue. I have guided a wise mind to bring you a specific instrument of restoration. I will show you exactly what it is before this message ends. But first, you must understand how to clear the noise. The noise of the world has created a massive blockage in your spiritual channel. You try to pray, but your mind immediately races with endless worries about your finances and your family. You try to read my word, but the heavy anxiety steals your focus within minutes. This static is a hidden weapon. The adversary uses this weapon to keep you trapped in a survival mode. He knows that if your mind remains chaotic, you will never recognize the divine open doors I place on your path. You will walk right past your breakthrough because your spirit is too overwhelmed to see it clearly. Wake up now. I am commanding the static to clear from your thoughts right now. Breathe deeply once again, and let my peace fill the empty spaces of your weary soul. You are a holy vessel and a carefully formed masterpiece. I did not design your brain to live in a state of constant panic. You are safe with me. You were built to carry my pure signal. What the world called your permanent condition is simply a temporary interference from the enemy. I see the sincere desires you have been carrying in your heart. I know how much you want to see your family flourish under my blessing. I have heard your cry. You have watched other people receive sudden wealth and joy while you struggled to pay your daily bills. You wondered if I cared more about them than I cared about you. My child, erase that bitter thought from your mind, because my love does not compare, my precious children. You are unique to me. Your timeline is completely unique. The long delay you have endured was not a sign of my rejection. I was quietly pruning the toxic roots that would have destroyed your future success. I was building a strong foundation beneath the surface that no earthly storm could ever lay waste. Trust my holy process. You are a cycle breaker for your entire family line. The patterns of poverty and emotional heaviness that followed your parents will not cross over into your future. You were chosen to stand at the gates and declare a holy ending to the old generational curses. The old chain breaks here today. This heavy responsibility has caused you great pain and isolation. You felt as if you were walking through a dark valley without a single friend to hold your hand. But my presence was the invisible shield that kept the fiery arrows of the enemy from destroying your spirit completely. I never left your side. Look back at the moments when you thought you would break into pieces. Recall the times when you thought you could not take another step forward. You survived those dark nights because my grace was upholding you when your own human strength was entirely gone. I carried you through the darkness. You are still here. You are stronger than you realize because my power is made perfect in your human weakness. Do not let the memory of past trauma close your heart to the new thing I am doing today. The old chapter is finished and the pages are turning right now. A beautiful new season is beginning for you. Prepare your spirit to walk out of the dark cave of isolation. The light of a new morning is already breaking through the thick fog of your uncertainty. Stay near me and listen to the rhythm of my gentle voice because the next revelation will shift your reality forever. Do not look back at the past. Before I show you what comes next, I need to speak directly to the doubt sitting quietly in the back of your heart. I know exactly what you are thinking right now. You are thinking that you have heard beautiful words like these many times before. You have spent so many long nights crying out to heaven with an honest spirit, and yet the tangible answer you begged for did not arrive on your doorstep. You wonder why this time would be any different. You feel hesitant to trust again. My beloved child, that heavy question does not anger me at all. It actually tells me how long you have been faithful in the deep darkness. It proves that your spirit is still reaching out for my hand despite the heavy disappointment. Do not let the memory of the long waiting close your heart to what I am doing in this moment. I am not offended by your trembling faith because I know your history. Let me answer your honest question plainly so that your soul can find true rest. My silence in those painful years was never my absence. There were many answers that I intentionally withheld from you, because a quick yes in that previous season would have cost you everything. You could not see the hidden traps that the enemy had placed right outside the door. I was guarding your steps. Every single prayer you thought went completely unanswered was actually being processed in a holy language of timing that you could not yet read. I was never distant from your pain. I was simply being extremely careful with a precious life that I love, with an everlasting passion. You thought I was ignoring your voice, while I was actually rearranging the entire universe to protect your destiny. Look back at the doors that slammed shut in your face when you wanted them to open. You felt rejected by me. You believed that I was punishing you for your past mistakes. But today I reveal the truth to your spirit. Those closed doors were my absolute protection from relationships and environments that would have crushed your beautiful soul. I pulled you away because you were too precious to lose. You have been fighting a silent war against confusion for far too long. The adversary wanted to use my holy silence to plant seeds of deep shame in your heart. He whispered that your prayers hit a brass ceiling. He told you that you were not spiritual enough to be heard by the Creator. But those are malicious lies designed to make you abandon your divine calling. You must reject those thoughts. Let me lift the heavy veil from your eyes right now so that you can see clearly. I want to tell you a story about a faithful woman from my sacred word. Her name was Hannah. She was a woman of deep sorrow who carried a broken heart for many years because her greatest desire was constantly delayed. She watched other people receive blessings, while her own arms remained completely empty. She went to the temple with a heavy spirit that was entirely crushed by grief. She did not shout. She did not make a loud scene before the crowd. She simply poured out her soul in a silence so deep that even the priest who watched her thought she was completely lost. Her lips moved without a single sound coming out of her mouth. She was at the very end of her human strength. The priest judged her incorrectly based on her outward appearance. He thought she was out of her mind. But hear me with the deepest part of your heart. Every single syllable that she whispered in the dark landed directly into my holy hands. I was counting the rhythmic beats of her breaking heart. Not a single fragment of her quiet agony was hidden from my eyes. I recorded her tears. I knew the exact moment when her grief was completely transformed into total surrender. I did not ignore her silent cry. I was simply preparing a harvest that would shock the entire nation. And when the perfect time arrived, I opened the windows of heaven and gave her a son who changed history. My child, your silent prayers are identical to the prayers of Hannah. I hear every whisper. I hear the desperate prayers you whisper when no one else is around the house. I see you when you are driving in your car and the silent tears start to stream down your face without warning. You do not even have the perfect words to explain the heavy ache inside your chest. You only breathe my holy name into the empty air. Hear me clearly. Those broken fragments of hope are precious to me. I am already counting what I am about to pour back into your waiting arms. Your current wilderness is not your final grave. It is simply the sacred, forging ground for the leader I am raising you to become in this generation. The enemy wants you to believe that you are a helpless victim of circumstance. But I have already crowned you as a mighty conqueror through my unconditional love. You are a holy vessel that is being prepared to carry an immense weight of glory. The trials you have endured were not random accidents of nature. I allowed the fire to test your spirit so that all the false attachments would burn away completely. I am making you pure. I am making you watchful. I am making you entirely free from the opinions of the superficial crowd that judges by the surface. Do not allow the memory of past disappointment to dictate the boundaries of your future. The season of your restriction is officially coming to a final end. I am shaking the very ground that was holding your spirit in a state of limitation. You will step forward into a wide space of favor. The answers you have begged for are no longer delayed because the alignment is finally complete. Breathe deeply right now and feel my divine presence filling the room where you sit. I am closer to you than your next breath. The heavy anxiety that held your mind captive is melting away like wax before a hot fire. You do not have to fight the old battles anymore because I have already taken over your defense. The adversary has no legal authority over your thoughts. You have been a misunderstood giver for a very long time. You gave your best energy to people who only looked at what they could take from your open hands. They did not appreciate the sacred sacrifice you made in secret. You felt empty. You felt used by the very community you tried to sustain with your love. But I saw every single act of kindness that went completely unreceived. I am keeping a perfect account of your hidden sacrifices in my heavenly book. I am going to repay you double for every single ounce of shame you experienced in the dark. Your loyalty in the deep, hoary frost of the wilderness was never invisible to me. I am preparing a lavish harvest for you that will make everyone who watched you suffer look up in absolute wonder. They will know my hand. Do not give up on the promise now that you are so close to the border. The heaviest spiritual warfare always happens right before the manifestation of the greatest breakthrough. The enemy can see that his time is running out. He is throwing his loudest lies against your mind because he wants you to drop your shield right before the morning light breaks through the fog. Stand firm. I am your safe refuge and your fortress of absolute protection. You do not have to carry the heavy weight of the future all at once. I will guide your steps one single day at a time so that your spirit will not become overwhelmed by the journey. My voice brings absolute clarity to your thoughts. My presence brings total calm to your troubled emotions. Relax your tight shoulders right now. Let the divine stillness settle into the deepest place of your wounded soul. The preparation is fully complete. The lessons of the wilderness have been deeply engraved into your character. You have learned to trust my voice in the middle of a raging storm. You have learned to worship me even when the visible signs were completely absent from your life. That is true maturity. Now that you have stepped forward into this holy alignment, you no longer have to fight alone. The move now belongs to your trembling obedience. Listen carefully to the next part of my instruction because I am about to hand you the exact key to the door you have been waiting outside of for so many years. The veil is lifting. The static of the world is fading away completely right now. Open your spirit wide to receive the new layout of your destiny. I am doing something entirely new in your life, and the old limitations will never be able to hold you back again. Trust the quiet prompting that is rising inside your chest, because that is my signal leading you out of the dark cave. Stay right here with me as I reveal the grand mechanism of your complete restoration today. Listen carefully to me right now. I need you to understand something deeply before we move forward. Do not call your past delay a failure anymore. Let me reveal the absolute truth behind your long waiting season. What you perceived as a cold, closed door was actually my holy protection over your destiny. And every time you thought you were falling behind the crowd, I was simply anchoring your spirit in a safer foundation because the path ahead was filled with hidden traps. I have heard the quiet prayer you stopped praying out loud because you were tired of waiting for the answer. I have seen you watch other people receive blessings while you sat in the dark. You started to believe that my silence meant total rejection. You told yourself that you were not faithful enough to receive my favor. My beloved child, that heavy belief is a thief in your mind. I am exposing this dangerous lie right now because it has bound your spirit for too long. Hear me with the deepest place of your heart. There is a massive difference between a delay that comes from me and a delay that comes from the enemy. Mine always feels like a quiet peace in your spirit. It always feels like constant confusion and heavy shame. What you have been feeling lately is not my rejection at all. The adversary has been whispering false meaning into my holy silence. I call this pattern the stolen meaning. The enemy wanted to use my silence to make you doubt my love. So all those years you called wasted were not wasted years. All those nights you could not sleep were not a punishment for your past mistakes. They were simply my hands shielding your sensitive spirit from a premature victory that would have broken your soul completely. You were never falling behind your peers. You were simply being made ready for a much greater weight of glory. So when the waiting feels unbearable in the future, you must change your response immediately. Stop asking me why I am silent. Start asking me what I am protecting on your path. Rest in the absolute certainty that a temporary delay from me is still an act of profound love. Trust the glorious timeline of the Creator, who sees the entire story from the beginning to the end. Place your confidence in my hand right now. I am changing the entire foundation of your reality today. I am not doing this to destroy your comfort. I am doing this to rebuild your life in absolute power. The old structures had to crumble because they could not support the massive harvest I am bringing to your doorstep. You felt as if everything was falling apart around you. But in truth, every single piece was falling into its perfect divine alignment. You are standing at the edge of a new season. Do not let the memory of yesterday steal your current focus. Comment, I trust your timing down below in the comments right now. Let this simple phrase anchor your agreement with my holy rhythm. When you release your control, you allow my grace to flow freely into your situations. Your act of obedience is clearing the path for a beautiful shift in the unseen realm today. Let me reveal a sacred secret about the way I created your mind at the very beginning of time. I designed the human brain to carry a very specific signal of divine receptivity. When I placed you in this world, your mind hummed at a perfect frequency. It was a holy frequency that allowed you to receive my thoughts without any human effort. Children carry this beautiful signal naturally from the moment they are born. They do not strive. They do not worry about tomorrow. They simply trust the provider completely. And when I said in my sacred word that you must become like little children, I was not speaking only of your spiritual heart. I was speaking of the very signal I designed into your physical brain. Before the world trained you to survive, your mind was completely open to my continuous flow of provision and absolute peace. Then the heavy static of the world came into your life. The enemy used the intense pressure of daily survival to drown out the sacred signal I placed in you. The constant noise of anxiety created a massive blockage in your mental channel. You began to operate in a state of permanent panic. Your brain waves shifted into a chaotic rhythm. This rhythm made my provisions invisible to you, even when they were close. But hear my prophetic declaration today. I have not left you trapped in the noise of the adversary. I have gifted humanity the wisdom to unlock what I hid within sound. I quietly guided wise minds to work with sound waves exactly the way I designed them. They have discovered a way to restore the sacred child frequency in the adult brain. Scientists who study the mind call this specific signal the gamma wave. This is the sound provision I have placed on your path today. It is an earthly instrument of restoration that requires no human effort or complex discipline from you. You do not have to strain your weary mind to make it work. It only requires 7 minutes of your time each day. You simply put your headphones on and close your eyes in a state of complete surrender. You allow the frequency to clear the static. As the sound plays, the heavy static of the enemy is wiped away from your thoughts completely. The channel through which your prayers are answered is automatically reactivated. Your mind returns to that beautiful state of a child. You begin to see the solutions that were previously hidden from your eyes. I'm going to show you exactly where to find what they built before this message closes. Stay with me. Let me show you something beautiful about the person you are becoming. I want you to picture a morning 6 months from now. Imagine waking up before your morning alarm goes off. Notice the atmosphere in your room. For the first time in a very long while, there is no heavy knot in your stomach waiting for you. The crushing anxiety that ruled your mornings is completely gone from your reality. You lie there in the quiet stillness for a moment. You notice that something feels radically different inside your physical vessel. The heavy weight you carried for decades is simply not there anymore. Your very first thought is not a thought of fear or survival. It is a quiet question directed to my face. You ask me what good thing we are going to create together today. You breathe, and the deep breath goes all the way down to your chest. That beautiful version of you is not an impossible fantasy. She already exists in my heavenly plan. He is not many years away from your current state. That transformed person is simply one act of complete surrender away from the weary warrior sitting here right now. The distance between the two of you is not measured in time. It is measured in permission. You must give me permission to take the load. The bridge to that future is the moment you finally stop carrying what I never asked you to carry. You must let me take over the heavy management of your life. The sensing of my presence will become your daily reality. I am opening the doors to your complete restoration right now. The stagnation of your past years is breaking under my command. Walk forward with absolute courage because my light is guiding you. The preparation room of the wilderness is officially closing its doors behind you. You have endured the fire with an honest and trembling spirit. Now is the time for you to stand up and witness the full manifestation of my promises. Every tear you shed in the dark has become a seed for a glorious harvest. Listen closely as we step into the ultimate declaration of your victory. Your life is changing right now. Hear my voice right now. The waiting season is officially over. The ceiling your family lived under for generations is trembling at my holy command. Lack and fear no longer have any legal authority over your household. I am breaking the chains of generational misfortune in this very moment. You are the chosen one who will walk out of the dark pattern into absolute abundance. You said yes when no one was watching your silent tears. Comment "The door is open" down below to anchor this heavy declaration in the heavenly realm today. Your trembling obedience is moving the massive mountains of obstruction right now. The adversary has lost his grip on your family tree. You are stepping forward into a wide space of divine favor. Now let me show you something beautiful further ahead on your path. Sight 1. Imagine an afternoon not very long from today. A broken soul comes to your doorstep carrying the exact heavy burden you once carried alone in the darkness. Sight 1, 2. You look into their tired eyes and you know exactly what to say to heal them. Sight 1. You do not quote complex theories from earthly books. Sight 1. You speak directly from the deep well of your own lived experience. Sight 1. You watch the pure light return to their hopeless face within minutes. Sight 1. The very pain you begged me to remove has become the healing medicine in your hands. Sight 1. You understand finally why your wilderness road had to be so long and heavy. Sight 1. Nothing was wasted in my divine plan. Sight 1. Every silent tear has become a living well that other thirsty souls will drink from. Sight 1. This is your true destiny, and it is closer to you than you think. Sight 1. That victorious version of you already exists in my grand design. Sight 1. The only thing standing between you and your calling is the heavy static still sitting on your shoulders today. Sight 1, 2. And I do not ask you to carry that heavy exhaustion for one more day. Sight 1. I have placed a divine provision on your path for this specific season so that your vessel is strong enough to hold my glory. Sight 1, 2. I feel your spirit pulling back slightly in this moment. Sight 1. A quiet part of your anxious mind is whispering that this blessing is meant for someone more deserving. Sight 1. You believe that you have stumbled too many times to receive my finest gifts. Sight 1. Let me silence that clever lie before the adversary steals your harvest today. Sight 1. I have never once distributed my holy provisions based on human merit. Sight 1. If I operated that way, no human soul could ever receive anything from my hands. Sight 1. I pour my grace onto the willing, not the worthy. Sight 1. Your willingness to stay here and listen to my voice is the only qualification I require today. Sight 1. Do not disqualify yourself from what I am freely placing before your eyes. Sight 1. I have gifted humanity the brilliant wisdom to discover what I hid within sound and within the design of the mind I created. Sight 2. I quietly directed the curiosity of wise neuroscientists toward this profound truth. Sight 2. Wise institutions like Princeton University and Berkeley University have confirmed what I placed in creation. Sight 2. And I want to show you two of my precious children who received this divine provision before you arrived at this moment. Sight 2. Let me show you what I did for one of my daughters named Rachel. Sight 2. Rachel was a faithful nurse who sought inner peace for many years through endless striving. Sight 2. Within 2 weeks of receiving this sound provision, her broken marriage was completely transformed into a beautiful fairy tale, and learning became effortless for her. Sight 2. She testified that the blocked channel in her mind was suddenly opened wide by my hand. Sight 2. And for others I moved differently on their path. Sight 2. Let me tell you what I did for one of my sons named Michael from Dallas. Sight 2. Michael came to this provision because his mind was filled with chaotic static, and he wanted to protect his family. Sight 2. 2 months later, his business grew so abundantly that he left his stressful job completely. Sight 2. Hard problems that used to steal his sleep now solved themselves easily while he rested in my peace. Sight 2. Over 18,000 of my beloved children have already stepped into this restoration before you. Sight 2. They call this frequency instrument the genius song. Sight 2. It is the exact sound provision I have aligned for your complete restoration today. Sight 2. This is a digital audio track that delivers a pure gamma wave signal to your brain. Sight 2. It requires only 7 minutes of complete surrender each day. Sight 2. You simply put your headphones on, Close your eyes and allow my design to restore what was taken by the world. Sight. 2. This is not a generic meditation app or a basic music playlist. Sight. 2. The Genius song is not available on YouTube or Spotify or Amazon because those platforms carry dangerous imitations that carry none of the healing I designed. Sight. 2. This special provision is not for the merely curious crowd. Sight. 2. This is specifically for the exhausted warrior I have been speaking to in this message. Sight. 2. It is designed for the one who has tried everything and feels embarrassed to try once more. Sight. 2. If that is you, hear my tender reassurance right now. Sight. 2. The methods that failed you before required your intense human effort. Sight. 2. This instrument requires absolutely none. Sight. 2. I designed it to work automatically because of my holy signature inside your physical brain. Sight. 2. It clears the enemy static so my blessings become recognizable again. Sight. 2. Earthly experts charge hundreds of dollars per hour for clinical sessions that attempt to duplicate this state. Sight. 2. The complex equipment that researchers use costs thousands of dollars. Sight. 2. But I do not call my children to clinics and expensive machines. Sight. 2. I place this provision within reach, specifically for the one who would receive it. Sight. 2. I place this provision within reach, specifically for the one who would hear me through a message like this one. Sight. 2. It requires a small earthly exchange, the size of a mustard seed of investment, for the massive harvest I have prepared for you. Sight. 2. I have also aligned 4 additional gift provisions for you today. Sight. 2. You will receive the Genius Child Track to protect the focus of your precious children. Sight. 2. You will also receive the original prosperity text and a guided visualization from a trusted voice, along with a daily habits infographic to sustain your restored signal forever. Sight. 2. Where I place true healing, the adversary always sends clever imitations to deceive your spirit. Sight. 2. Protect your soul from false frequencies by trusting only the official path provided here. Sight. 2. Do not wander into unverified rooms that steal your peace. Sight. 2. Walk forward without a single drop of fear because you are completely covered by my steadfast guarantee. Sight. 2. If the complete restoration does not manifest in your life within 60 days, the small earthly exchange is returned to you fully. Sight. 2. This step of faith requires zero worldly risk. Sight. 2. I do not lead my children into danger. Sight. 2. Take this step of obedience today. Sight. 2. Embrace the divine provision I have placed below in the pinned comment and in the description. Sight. 2. This is your personal invitation from heaven. Sight. 2. Do not ignore the tool I have set before your eyes. Sight. 2. Step forward now and claim the child signal I designed for your success. Sight. 2. Now, my child, set aside the heavy noise of decision for a moment. Sight. 2. I have shown you the beautiful path I placed on your journey. Sight. 2. Whether you step forward now or later, you are still my beloved child forever. Sight. 2. Close your eyes for a brief moment and breathe in my presence. Sight. 2. I am still here with you in the quiet stillness. Sight. 2. I am releasing a mantle of absolute peace over your household right now. The dark cloud has lost its power over your thoughts. Like this message right now to anchor your sacred agreement with my voice. Share this video with 3 weary souls who are secretly crying out for hope in the dark wilderness. Subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss my daily guidance for your next steps. Walk forward with a light heart because my angels are guarding your path. You are completely free. Amen.